All right. Are you your own worst critic?
Yeah.
Anybody say no? Come on up here. Whoever told you you had to be perfect? Or that you couldn't be perfect? Can you identify where those voices came from? The ones who told you you had to be? The one who expected perfection? And please don't tell me it's your own voice. 0 to 6 came from somewhere else. We might have taken it on as our own voice. We may have become our own worst critic, but somewhere in there we got modeled that we either had to be perfect or that we would never be perfect. Neither of them very healthy, are they? Clean up my glasses so I can see what's actually on my outline. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says that the purpose to life, if you've ever asked that question, here it is. The purpose to life is to live and to fully express our nature. That's it. So you can quit searching for the purpose of life. To fully live and to fully express our nature. Well, that right there could be a whole other talk. Our nature. And let me just remind us again, as I do every single Sunday, our nature must be divine. If there's only one thing, and that's the first premise of this teaching, there's only one thing, there's only one power, one life, God, whatever you want to call it, your preference. If there's only one thing, and it created every single thing, then our nature is the same as that. So if I say God is love, well, you can fill in all the rest of the blanks. This is actually where we get into trouble because people say, well, God must be an angry God because look at my nature is angry. Oh, no. The angry part is the stuff that has been put on. Our nature, if you boil it all down, must be love and intelligence and goodness. Because that's what God is. We don't believe in an angry God. How silly would that be? An omnipotent being that's pissed off all the time? I don't think so. An omnipotent being that is full of joy and expression, that's our nature. So the purpose of life is to live and to live fully as we express our nature. He also says you are unique and forever individualized. Not separate, but individualized. Huge. Here's how I'm seeing that this morning. You know our symbol with the V? And we talk about spirit and soul and body. Here's how I'm seeing it this my tongue is getting tied. It is the invisible realm of spirit made visible as us. The invisible is at the top. It's big, it's wide, it's huge. Made visible. All the faces that I'm looking at and out beyond these walls are part of the visible creation of God. The invisible made visible. That's what you are. You are a visible, tangible form of the Spirit, not some separate little mere human being set out to struggle. So we are to express ourselves. Some of us express by being singers, dancers, artists. Some are writers. Some of us express by being an athlete. Whatever you do for work is part of your expression. Whatever you do voluntarily is part of your expression. How you dress, your style of hair and clothing is your expression. But beyond all that, and more important than that, is just who you be. Who you be. How do you communicate with other human beings? How do you express yourself in the world? How you be is really enough. All those other things are things that we like to say, I'm a this and I'm a that. They're labels, I look like this, I dress like this. Those are just things. But who we be is really important. It's hard though, isn't it? You know, when I got my tattoo, I thought to myself, oh man, what are people going to think? But why should I care? I went here and got it anyway. You know, there's those things that come up. I want to express myself this way. When I put a little bit of purple in my hair, what are people going to think? Why should I care? I want to just express myself. Okay, now this is not licensed to go around and be a jerk. Because sometimes when I say, well, I want to express myself, then people outside of here, not of this church, but people outside of here say, oh, well, you're giving me permission to walk around angry and to just, on other people. No, because if you really know God is yourself, you wouldn't do that anyway. And that is another talk. I always have like 10,000 things that want to come out on Sunday morning, but I try to get it into 20 minutes. It's like, that's why you hear me say, that's another talk. That's another talk. So I set it up that, if you really know yourself as God, you wouldn't do those mean things anyway. So that's not what I mean. But to express who we are, how we are, to just be who we are, that's the purpose of life. And let me read what Ernest Holmes says about it. I found just one perfect quote today. He says, we may be quite emphatic in saying that we think the universe exists for the expression of spirit, and people exist for self-expression because people are the expression of spirit. Duh, there it is. And the word emphatic, forceful, with emphasis. We may be quite emphatic in saying that we're here to express spirit as us. We want to keep that word emphasized, that emphatic. I'm an expression of God. And let me not hide about that. Let me not be insecure about that. All right, now that all sounds really good. That's our teaching. That's in a nutshell. Yes, we hear that. I'm an expression of God. But do you often feel more like this? I keep my paintbrush with me wherever I may go in case I need to cover up. The real me doesn't show. Oh, I'm so afraid to show you me, afraid of what you'll do. That you might laugh or say mean things. I'm afraid I might lose you. I'd like to remove all my paint coats to show you the real true me. But I want you to try and understand. I need you to accept what you see. So if you'll be patient and close your eyes, I'll strip off all my coats real slow. Please understand how hard it is to let the real me show. Now all my coats are stripped off. I feel naked, bare, and cold. And if you still love me with what you see, you're my friend through this world. I need to save my paintbrush though. Hold it in my hand. I want to keep it handy just in case something doesn't understand. Anybody live like that? Anybody ever get triggered by that? I think probably more than we even want to admit. I don't know why it is. Well, I do. I have actually 1,000 of reasons why I can say it. I'll just let you have your own. Why we think we need to do this. Why we keep our paintbrush handy just in case you don't like what you see. Now we can feel that on our own self, when we've taken off our paint coats to show somebody else. And some people accepted what they saw, and some people said, well, that ain't good enough. I don't want to be around you. I've had both experiences. I've had people who always judged me and always told me it was never enough, no matter what I did. And I've had people who always loved me, no matter what I did. But can you imagine that everybody's walking around like this? So we not only need to feel it for ourselves and what it feels like to think that, oh my gosh, I might need that paintbrush in case, I need to cover myself up. But imagine that everybody else is doing the same thing. And so then we walk around the world, and if we can imagine that as we're interacting with those other people, that they're feeling the same way. So how are we going to be towards them? Are we going to be the one who forces them to put that paint back on? Or are we going to be the one that says, my arms are open and I'm going to accept you the way you are? Keep in mind that accepting people the way they are doesn't mean we're necessarily going to like everything. But we're accepting. For me, when I hold it this way, this paintbrush thing, when I know the feeling of wanting to hide, it gives me so much more compassion when I'm talking to you or whoever I'm talking to, thinking that you might be feeling the same way. And how dare I be the one that forces you to put the paint back on? You see? So let's all try to be the ones who don't force others to put the paint back on. What I think I know about this society, this may sound like what every religion says, but if every person was taught this from the time they were a little child, I think we'd have a much better world. Now, again, a lot of religions probably say, if everybody was just this religion, this isn't about religion, though. If every single one of us was taught you are a unique, individual creation of God, holy and perfect and complete the way you are, if we really embodied that from the time we were little tiny kids and grew up with that, what a difference. If we could just imagine the whole planet like that. But we've been told that we're supposed to cover up our shame. We're supposed to cover up the things that were the mistakes that we made. We're supposed to not share the embarrassing moments. We're not supposed to let people see us cry. We're supposed to hide behind our mistakes and our imperfections.